everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the ChatterBox podcast. My name is Matthew McMiller, and alongside me is, go ahead.
My name's Charlie Thomas.
And we've been thinking about starting a podcast together for a while, and I'm actually really happy that we've got to do this. Charlie and I have been friends since we were, 7?
6.
Something like that, 6, 7 years old.
We football.
Yep, we started out playing football together, and Charlie and I, life happens, people move apart, so this is kind of a way for us to keep our friendship going and keep talking at least once a week about football, about any other sport, about stupid life stuff, just things going on in our worlds and in the world in general. But it'll mostly be based around sports because that's all we have to do in our lives. So,
and that's the only thing that we actually know anything about.
Yep. I tell people 50% of my knowledge is sports, and the other for 50% is like breathing and addition. So I literally said that to somebody at work today.
All right. Well, since this is the first edition, we're recording this first week of September, just before official week 1 of the NFL season. That's what the first few episodes of our podcast, first few, I should say, probably the next 20 to 25 episodes is going to be is of this NFL season. We still got basketball going on right now. We still got hockey about to start. Baseball's still going. We're going to throw some stuff in there, just what's going on, what we can expect from the upcoming seasons and the continuing seasons for other sports. But mainly for now, it's going to be mostly NFL, college football, that kind of stuff.
With all that being said, let's get into it, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we are thinking for this upcoming season. You can go ahead and start it. I like to go second. I want to rebut your standings and your predictions.
All right. So starting off, we're gonna get straight into who we think is going to be our top team in every division. We're going to see how much we can disagree on all of our standings. Just being alphabetical, we're going to start with the AFC. Obviously, Northwest, East, and South for everything. Just going to pick our top teams for each division, maybe some dark horse teams. And as we go through this kind of stuff, we're going to pick players that we think need to be watched. We're going to pick teams that we think need to be watched, and really just look for anything interesting to talk about. But something big we want to get onto today is we're going to go through and pick what we think is our best core for every position, and definitely argue about that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're a Commanders fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. We can't agree on anything. So.
Oh, that's what we need to let people know. We need to know who we cheer for. So we're best friends. We've been best friends for years now. I'm a Washington fan, at least Commanders. He's a Dallas fan.
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I like to preface that with I'm not one of those fans. I am an objective Cowboys fan. I think Charlie will stand up for me there. I am very objective. I'm not one of the we're going to the Super Bowl every year kind of Cowboys.
He's not one of the we them boys guys.
I hate when people say we them boys because we ain't been them boys since 1995. But I think like Charlie said, we're going to go through, we're going to give our standings predictions for each division. So I'll let you lead it off because, like I said, I'm just going to tear down every argument you make. So why don't you go ahead and get started then?
Well, I'm going to lead with the AFC East, which, in my opinion, is one of the better divisions in the league right now.
I would say the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely that league in particular is going to be very hard to make a decision on. We have the Jets coming in. They're supposed to be fresh, new veteran quarterback with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody is really either expecting them to seriously pull something this year or just absolutely bomb.
Yep.
And, young players all the way around, great talent. But then you go to the Patriots, you look at their roster and you're kind of more on the page of, I don't really know who a lot of these guys are. A lot of them are younger, or they also have a lot of older guys there that just you look at their roster and go, "Oh, this isn't really something special."
No, Bill Belichick has built that team. I want to win every game 16-13. That's how he's built that roster. He has not built it for flashy, new age NFL throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Right.
That is not that roster.
Which is why he's still in the running for that division. Bill Belichick alone makes that team. I gave him a solid 7 out of 10.
Really?
You might not know
Really?
a lot on that roster, but I'm sorry, we've seen it for years. How many people on Bill Belichick's team have been seriously standout players?
I get it, but they also had the best player of all time for 19 of those years.
I will give you that
7 out of 10 because my record prediction for them is 7-10. They are last in the AFC East for me.
You think so?
They are not. They will not be better than last in that division.
So I'm gonna give them third.
Okay, give me your standings. Who do you got?
So
first through fourth.
My first is going to be the Jets. I see the Jets seriously pulling it out this year. You know, people are expecting a lot from them. I even think Robert Saleh, he's one of my candidates for Coach of the Year.
Okay.
I expect serious things from them. I expect Aaron Rodgers to play like he was in peak condition at Green Bay. They've got the weapons. They've got the depth on the team.
Okay.
I really think they can do it. Next, I'm going to have to go with the Bills. They got a very solid team. They're kind of lacking depth, and they're also kind of lacking morale. I know Stephon Diggs hasn't been too happy the last couple seasons. Their secondary has started to wither out a little bit. They're getting hurt, getting older.
So that means you've got Miami in last.
I have Miami in last.
Okay. Do you have records with these teams, or you just got them ranked?
I just got them ranked. I haven't gone with records yet. I haven't
do
the whole season for them, but
so I'll go.
The whole thing with the Dolphins is this year is a make or break year for Tua. I don't see Tua having a good season. I think he's going to get injured again, and they're going to be hurting, and it's going to be rough for them to put together a season in such a good division.
Okay. Well, I'll go worst first. How about that? I will go with, as I said, New England is in last. They have no offensive talent. Their best receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster. And there was a report coming out that said Juju's knee is a ticking time bomb. And if your best receiver, before you've played game one, has a ticking time bomb knee, that's probably not a good sign. They've got a great offensive line. They've got a great running game. Like I said, Bill Belichick wants to win games 16-13. That's how he wants to win. He's an old school coach. That's what he wants to do, and I think they will win some games that way based on the fact that they play in New England, and later in the season the weather's going to suck, so they'll be able to do that. But when you have a quarterback such as Mac Jones in a division with Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Tua Tagovailoa, you've got the worst quarterback, and it's a quarterback league. That defense is good. They're not special. They're not the 85 Bears. They're not the 2000 Ravens. I have them in last place. In third place, I have the New York Jets. I have the New York Jets in third. Aaron Rodgers. This may be my disdain for him because I don't like him as a quarterback, but it reminds me of the NBA and super teams. You can't just build a super team and expect it to work year one. I'm not saying they won't be good. I'm not saying they might sneak into the 7th seed. I don't think they're good enough to win that division. That defense is good. It's not great. It was great last year, but law of regression. They're going to regress to the mean. I think Garrett Wilson is a stud, and I hope he is because I haven't been 2 of my fantasy leagues, so I hope he goes crazy. But I don't see them being much better than third. In second,
that means you either have the Dolphins or the Bills in first.
In second place, we agree. Buffalo Bills will be in second place. The Buffalo Bills, as you said, Stephon Diggs has not been a happy camper lately. There's been reports he wants to get out. There's a report on the first day of OTAs or minicamp, one of the two, that Stephon Diggs doesn't show up, and their coach Sean McDermott comes out and says, "Yeah, this is a big deal. I don't know. It's something we're really concerned about." And then the next day, all of a sudden, they're not concerned about it. And there's constant reports of Stephon wanting to be traded, which, in my opinion, he should come play with his brother in Dallas. But whatever. Uh,
No.
relax. It was a joke, okay? But I think Buffalo will finish second. And call me a believer. Give me Miami in first. Tua stays healthy. He's been working. As funny and as weird as it sounds, it's an art. Learning how to fall is a very, very, I think, underrated skill for quarterbacks. Because, I mean, he was smacking his head last year, dude. We saw it. We saw it against the Bengals.
I mean, he was one of the most pressured and hit quarterbacks in the league last year.
So I think the Dolphins have beefed up that offensive line. They've also got Jalen Ramsey, who will be back at some point in the season off his knee injury. They've got Tyreek Hill. They've got Jalen Waddle. And they've got a bunch of really fast running backs.
My decision on the Dolphins is based purely on the fact that I don't believe Tua is going to stay healthy. That is, I think Tua makes or breaks that team, because other than Tua, that team is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
The receiving core I have is one of my candidates for the best receiving core in the league.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're easily the fastest.
Right. I mean, let's think about this real quick. Jalen Waddle, who was an absolute stud out of Alabama.
Tyreek Hill, the fastest man alive.
Mike Gesicki, who is...
Nope, he's not there anymore.
He left?
He's in New England. He signed him.
Shut the fuck up. I didn't know that.
He's in New England. Yep.
Who's their tight end now? I got to check that.
He is in New England. But, I mean, the receiving core is really good. I think that...
Right, well, they're running backs. Do they still have...
I think they still have Mostert.
Right, he's fast as can be. They had another fast running back too, don't they?
They want to run a San Francisco style offense. I mean, Mike McDaniel comes straight out of the Kyle Shanahan tree, where you just run and you beat everybody with speed, and you bully them on the offensive line.
So they fucked up letting Mike Gesicki leave because Durham Smythe. I don't know who the fuck that is. No idea who that is. But let's see. So it looks like, as far as their running back, they're really only with Raheem Mostert, who's still a great fit for that offense. I mean, he's perfect fit with speed and needing to get that ball out quickly, especially with how much Tua was getting hit last year.
I think that would be a big emphasis for them. Our offense is trying to get the ball out quicker.
Right, because they beefed up the offensive line, especially bringing in Teron Armstead.
Yep.
But still, Tua's going to benefit as a quarterback getting the ball out faster. Because don't get me wrong, he's got a decent deep ball, but it's better for him to not be sitting in the pocket for too long.
Yep. So to recap, I have New England in last, New York in third, Buffalo in second, Miami in first. And you have...
Let's see. I have Dolphins last. I have New England third. Bills second. Jets first.
Okay. Now with that, I have two playoff teams, Miami and Buffalo, coming out of the East. How many do you have?
I'm gonna say I only have the Jets.
Okay. You don't think Buffalo's gonna make the playoffs?
I don't. I think they're going to...
That's a hot take, man. I don't know, dude.
I think they're going to have a crash and burn season. I really do.
Okay.
I mean, they have two offensive weapons, Dawson Knox and Stephon Diggs. When one of them isn't happy, all right, now you've only got Dawson Knox with his head in the game. When was the last time the Bills even had a decent running back? I mean, who even is their running back still?
Last time they had a decent one was probably LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah,
So
and he wasn't even that decent.
he wasn't.
He was
It
old.
wasn't shady when he got there.
Um,
So that being said, I think we can move along to the AFC North if you're ready.
yeah, we stuck on the AFC East there for a little long.
I'll just give you my order again. Honestly, it's not surprised. It's kind of chalk. You might disagree with third and last, but at the bottom of the barrel, I am not a believer. I have the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Deshaun Watson's bouncing back. I think a year and a half away from NFL football, 6 games, and then taking another 8-9 months off. He's going to need another 2 months to get back to even somewhat of himself that he was in Houston. Nick Chubb, beast, dog, can't stop him. I mean, he's a great running back. They've got a great running type of offensive line. They've got Amari Cooper. Enjoy that contract. Anyways, they've got Amari Cooper. But other than that, I don't know what else they have on offense.
I agree with you. The Browns team, they had a chance to have a decent team. I think they blew it signing Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson needed to be done when he was
I'm not
out.
saying done. I'm just saying maybe not $250 million fully guaranteed. And I'm not counting anybody's pockets. You get your money, man. I'm happy for you. Congrats. But if I was the organization, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say bad move. I'm agreeing with you. That
And
Browns
third,
I do not have faith in that team at all.
and third, but maybe a little bit better record at 9-8 for me at least. I have the Steelers. I think they will make improvements. I think that defense is going to be deadly as it usually is because it's Mike Tomlin and he's a tremendous defensive coach and coach overall. TJ Watt, animal, can't stop him. You can put 2 guys on him. He's getting to your quarterback. I don't think second year Kenny Pickett can lead them to the playoffs in a division that tough. I think Kenny will show great strides. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over as much. I think his complete percentage is going to be higher. I think George Pickens is going to be good. I think Deontay Johnson is going to be good, and Pat Freiermuth, they're all going to be good. But I still think it's a second-year quarterback who's not a blue chipper like Trevor Lawrence or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. He's just not in that conference. You have to have a top-tier quarterback to win. And he could be one day. It's still the jury's still out, but as of now, he's not for me. So I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have the Steelers in third.
He's just a little young, still has some developing to do. I like what I've seen. I watched a few of his highlight reels. He looks like he's developing really well, especially compared to last year.
Yes.
And again, it's Mike Tomlin. Even last year having so bad of a team.
Right. TJ Watt was out for 7 games.
Did he still go
I think
500?
I think they went 8-1. If not, they went 8-9. One of the I'm pretty sure he went 8-1.
He was just barely under 500 for the first time in what? Almost 20 years.
And his best player was out for 7 games.
Right. I totally agree with them being third. It's not that they're a bad team, it's just the other 2 teams in that division are
loaded.
Right, they're essentially super teams.
To me, second, just because I believe in the other team's quarterback more, is the Baltimore Ravens. I think the addition of OBJ, while that's not adding someone like a Tyreek Hill or someone like a DeAndre Hopkins, it's
a better wide receiver one than they had.
It is something. I think they did good by drafting Zay Flowers. I think he's going to be really good from Boston College. I don't think Lamar's going to get hurt this year. I'm hoping he stays upright, because if he stays upright, the last time he was fully healthy, he played all his games. It was the year after he won his MVP. Which, by the way, the year he won his MVP, it was unanimous. So, this guy's not a scrub. He's a top 5 or 6 quarterback in this league. The problem is the other team in their division, the Bengals, who I have first, have a top 3 quarterback in this league, in Joe Burrow.
Burt.
Cincinnati's defense, I think, is overlooked. I think they're really good. I think they're good at what they do. They play you hard. They play you tough. They might not take the ball away as often as I would like, but they get stops when they need them. They've held Patrick Mahomes in 2 AFC championship games to 23 points and under. And they held Matt Stafford and Sean McVay in the Super Bowl to 23 points 2 years ago. I think their defense is underrated. They've got a hell of a receiving core, and this is my best receiving core.
Yeah, they're definitely up there.
Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. I mean, these guys are great. These guys are fantastic. They're my best receiving core.
They have
Bill Mixon out of the backfield. I mean, they just...
Right, and they have a pretty decent tight end, too, don't they?
I think so, yeah. I think it's...
I
want to say... I think it might be Hayden Hurst.
I think you're right. I feel like you're right, because that sounds familiar. And, he's...
He was good. He was good in Atlanta.
No, it's Irv Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
Right, that's a solid tight end to back up an incredibly good wide receiver core.
To me, you have, I think, only one better wide receiver, one in Justin Jefferson than Jamar Chase, but your wide receiver 2 and 3, you're not going to find better anywhere in the league. I mean, T. Higgins is fantastic. I
think he is. I think there's a couple wide receivers I put above him.
As wide receiver 2?
Oh, wide receiver 2. I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to go back and check my wide receiver 2s. But as a wide receiver 2, yeah, he's really fucking good.
So that's me. I got Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, 4-1.
I actually think
I think we agree on that.
I think we agree on that one. I'm a little more into what's going on with Baltimore. I definitely think that, the team that they've put together is something special, especially with Lamar coming off getting his huge contract. He is coming out to show the people of Baltimore that you didn't waste the money on him. He is here to show you that he is your quarterback for a long time. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Commanders fan, but I'm also an Orioles fan. I live in Harford County. I'm literally 45 minutes away from M&T Bank Stadium. I really feel like there's something special. I feel like their defense is going to let them down a little bit. They're starting to get a little older. The Bengals having such an on-fire offense. I think I do have to put the Bengals in first.
So for me, again, I have 2 teams in the playoffs, Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
I do have Cincinnati as the worst division winner, just based on how tough that division is. Because even though I don't think the Browns would be very good, it's the AFC North. That's a smash mouth football division.
Yeah, they're all
the ball and you're going to play deep defense, and you're going to get hit. So, I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the AFC South. If you want to lead this one, I'll just tell you if I agree with anything or.
So, I'm going to totally just lead with this. The AFC South is one of the worst divisions in this league.
It is the second worst, in my opinion.
They are absolutely hurting. The Texans. I don't even know who the fuck is on the Texans anymore.
You got C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. That's all I can tell you. And Damian Pierce, the running back. That's it. That's all you got from me. I don't know who else.
I fully expect them to only win 5 or 6 games this season.
I got them winning 3.
Yeah, I think they probably just need a tank.
Yep.
That's all I got for them. The Titans.
You got them in 3rd?
I'm gonna put the Titans in 3rd.
Okay. We don't agree. Right.
Their team is old. I definitely expect Henry to
drop off a little in production.
I expect him to drop off, but I still expect him to be a top 5 rusher in the league.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've all seen the meme of him next to Mark Ingram. I mean, the dude's a giant.
I mean, yeah. There's just no way he doesn't go top 5 if he stays healthy. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's a bad quarterback. He's just never been great. He's gotten older, and he doesn't have a lot of weapons to work with. So I don't really... They're a solid team, but it's just that I think the Colts drafted really well. I'm putting them at 2nd. I think they've still got some rebuilding to do, but I think they've got some decent players to start with. It's hard to argue with a team when the leader of your line is Quentin Nelson, arguably the best offensive lineman in the league.
Yeah.
And
right behind Zach Martin. Anyways.
I like Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
I think he was a good pick for them. I think he's definitely somebody that can keep them in contention. But then the Jaguars, obviously, I have them at first. I have them, honestly, definitely winning this division and probably being second or third in the AFC.
Okay.
I think they're very solid.
I agree with your last, for sure. Houston is just... I feel bad for D'Amico Ryan coming over there from San Francisco, leaving that defense to come to Houston. I mean, But, hey, you got to make a name for yourself. I don't blame him. I'd take a head coaching job, too. And they do have a good corner from LSU. I did forget about him, Derek Stingley. He's pretty good. They got Stroud, but against a rookie quarterback in the AFC and that dreadful they're set up to fail. They just are.
Right.
And third, I do have them improving, but I do have Indy. I do like Anthony Richardson. I think the dude is just an athlete. He's a dog. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to make some plays that are like, whoa, like, wow, like this dude can maybe play.
Did Marlon Mack stay in Indiana?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's the other thing. Jonathan Taylor's not going to be there. He's out the first 4 weeks on the PUP list. He doesn't want to be there. They won't give him a contract. I think that's going to plague the team a little bit. So that's why I have them in third. That defense, there's not much to talk about on that defense. I mean, there's just not.
Does T.Y. Hilton still play for the Colts?
No, he does not.
Who the fuck is their wide receiver one?
They have Michael Pittman Jr. as a wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah, no.
And obviously, I don't know, Derrick Henry, like we said, he can't bring him down. I mean, he's huge, man. I mean, his legs are probably the width of my torso. I mean, this dude's huge. Ryan Tannehill's not bad. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is going to maybe open up the run game a little bit more. I also expect Derrick Henry to drop off in production. I don't think he's going to rush for 1,600 yards. I think he will be between 10 to 1,200 yards. I think they're going to be an average team. I think they're going to go 9-8. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. But, I mean, they are one of the few teams in the NFL that are like in that mid tier of like, we're not good enough to contend and we're not bad enough to tank. And then first, I have the Jaguars, and Calvin Ridley's back, and I don't know if you've seen the video of him and Zay Jones running a route. Zay Jones looks like he's running in slow motion. He looks like if I was sprinting next to Calvin Ridley. Not calling Zay Jones slow. He's an NFL receiver. But in the video, it's ridiculous.
Calvin Ridley's taking his time off seriously.
Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, this defense, they've got a great defensive line. I worry about their back end a little bit, but they've got a great defensive line. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars 13-4 and getting the bye in the AFC.
You have them taken first in the AFC?
Their division's so bad, they're going to go 6-0. That's 6 wins right there.
I can see that. I can see that. So we have to move on to the AFC West. We kind of got to go through this one a little quickly.
I don't think there's much to talk about, really. I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, the Broncos last.
I got Vegas. I had Vegas last, but I have Sean. I mean, Vegas is just bad. They don't have a quarter. They have Jimmy G. They do have Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, but they have Jimmy G. Their defense. Well, I mean, who's stopping?
The entire team's lackluster.
I got Vegas. They have Denver because I do believe in Sean Payton as a coach. I do. I just do. I think he's a good coach. I think he's going to get Russ. Sean Payton is not going to have an offense that only scores 16 points a game. That's just not going to happen. I do worry about injury. Judy's already out. I think they had another receiver that tore something in training camp. He's out for the year. So
I'm just worried about Russell Wilson. I have to be honest. I think he's lost it.
it makes you really wonder about, was the Legion of Boom right, and they were carrying the whole time, and he wasn't this. I mean, he was mobile, but I mean, was he ever a top five quarterback? I mean, really, was he ever a top five quarterback?
I think I have to agree. I think the Legion of Boom did kind of really help him along. He struggled his last year in Seattle, and then
Yep,
he was fucking horrible in Denver.
awful
Horrible.
last year.
Um, so that leaves first and second between the Chiefs and the Chargers. I think the Chargers have an extremely explosive, mostly young offense, a very good secondary. They've had a good secondary for the past couple of years. They're a very good team. The only problem is Patrick Mahomes is just so fucking good.
The only problem is the best quarterback, most talented quarterback I've ever seen play football plays for the Chiefs, and they're in their division. So that's the
Chiefs
only problem.
won, Chargers too. Simply because of the fact that Patrick Mahomes is so good.
Yep, I think Chris Jones being out for the Chiefs until the latest week 8 is going to hurt them in the beginning of the season. But I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it doesn't matter. Chiefs winning the division, LA second, Denver third, Vegas fourth for me in the AFC West.
So yeah, the only part we disagree with there is Raiders and Broncos. I definitely see that going both ways. I think Jimmy G's play is really going to make it. If Jimmy G absolutely tanks the season, the Broncos are going to overtake Vegas. That's just going to happen.
That's the AFC, and we will be right back.
Yep. All right. Back from break, we are now on to the NFC, which is obviously going to be our favorite conference. We are going to do the NFC East last for very obvious reasons. All right, and we are going to start with the West. In the West, we got the Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. The Cardinals are going to be the worst team in the fucking league.
The worst team in the league, brother.
At this point, they need to just tank. If they win a single game, fire the coach. Who's the fucking coach? Shanahan?
I think it's
Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury.
No, he got fired. It's the offensive coordinator from the Eagles last year.
If they don't tank, fire him too.
Well, the only problem is I agree. They're going to finish last. They're going to be the worst team in the league. But Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 overall pick, right? You already have Kyler Murray. And if people know that you already have Kyler Murray and you're paying him an ass ton of money, they're not going to trade for Kyler Murray. They're going to make you either keep Kyler Murray on the books and draft Caleb Williams or not. So, anyways, just a little bit of things to think about for the Cardinals. So, continue.
Dog water. Fucking dog water.
Who you got in third?
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Me too.
The Rams, they're not a bad team. I would say they're average. They've got a couple playmakers, but overall, their guys are getting old. Matthew Stafford is fucking old.
Coming off elbow surgery?
Right. As an NFL quarterback, that's scary. They laid it all out on the line the past couple of years.
They won their Super Bowl.
Right. They're gonna pay for laying it all out on the line. I think this year is gonna be the beginning of a rebuild.
Yep, I think Aaron Donald around trade deadline. Listen for his name.
Yep, I think he's gonna leave.
Cooper Kupp coming off an also a season-ending injury. I mean, these guys are old. They're beat up. Matthew Stafford said he can't connect with the younger guys now. He said he's having a hard time connecting with them in general. I don't see them having a great season. Sean McVay's a hell of a coach, but I don't see how they have a good season.
The only reason they're not last is because the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Seahawks. Obviously, the 49ers are going to be in first. They're bounds ahead of the other teams in this division.
Yep.
You don't even really need to go over them that much. The Seahawks. I am actually genuinely excited for what the Seahawks are putting together. I think they are still mostly an average team, but I like Geno Smith. I like what he did last year. He's cheap for them. He understands what his role on that team is, and that's to play a slightly above average quarterback, save the team money, and let them spend it elsewhere.
Yep.
Because we've seen plenty of teams have a slightly above average quarterback with weapons and do great. Their receiving core, I think, is kind of underrated and kind of crazy.
A.J. Brown, Tyler Lockett, who has had
fucking DK.
Who has had 1,000 yards, I think 3 of the last 5 seasons, and then the other 2 that he didn't, he had over 950 yards. Yeah. Shout out fantasy Tyler Lockett. If you're picking a draft on the day before the first game of the year, pick up Tyler Lockett as a flex. Just saying.
Great flex option. Always a great flex option.
They just drafted this kid Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State. Look out. They got Kenneth Walker, that running back. Look out. I think they will finish second, but I think they're building something special there. I think they're close to being a 2013 Super Bowl team again. I think they are.
I have them winning at least 10 games this year.
I got them at 10-7. I got them at 10-7.
I'm excited to see what the Seahawks can do. Genuinely excited to see what they put together. I would have first in this division if the fucking 49ers won.
Of course. I mean, they're just the best team in the division. Brock Purdy, he's also coming off surgery. But, I mean, that team surrounding him is just so good. It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter.
What did I just say about slightly above average QB play? You can have slightly above average QB when you have a team built around it that is just that fucking.
And this is partly on. This is where I'll get into a little bit of the politics of football. Not literally political, because I don't ever want this podcast to get political, but Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch in the front office have mishandled their quarterback situation so horribly. If they were any other team, if they didn't have the weapons they do around them, they would have both been fired already. I mean, these guys just you trade away your future picks for Trey Lance. You give him 2 games, he breaks his leg, and you don't even let him compete for the job. That doesn't make any sense.
Hey, you're not complaining, though, because you guys got him for dirt cheap.
Right, I got it. Brock Purdy won 7 games. But with that talent, I think Trey Lance could have done the same thing. Because we've seen Jimmy G do it, and are you telling me Jimmy G is better than Trey Lance? I mean, it's unforeseen, we don't know, but
Jimmy G's not a great quarterback.
Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl and had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I agree. I think San Francisco, they're going to be my number 1 seed in the NFC. CMC, George Kittle, Debo. I mean, to me, they have the best D-line in the league. Nick Bosa. I mean, they do. Philly's got a good one. You could flip a coin. To me, but
I agree, but this is obviously going to be a little biased for me. At least for the best D-line in the league, you have to at least consider Washington.
Say they're top 6 D-line for sure.
Top 6? You have to give them at least top 5. If
Chase
Young comes off his injury and plays like he did when he was a rookie, they'll be the number 1 D-line.
He hasn't played for 2 years, man.
No, he's either going to come back and be the comeback player of the year, or he's going to tank.
I think you should set your expectations for the first 2 months of the year to not hear his name a lot. Just like a quarterback, when you get back into it, it takes a minute. And he's not going to be as fast. He's 2 years older, which in the NFL, 2 years of age is a long time.
Dude,
we can get to the Commanders later, buddy boy.
Right, yeah, you're right. Here's my one really hot take for the NFC West. I do not believe in CMC.
You think he's gonna get hurt?
I don't think he has it anymore. He's been hurt so many times since he's been in this league. I think coming into the AFC, which has some insanely good defenses on it, for the most part, the AFC defenses the last few years, kind of meh. The NFC South defenses when he was in Carolina, fucking shit. Except sometimes the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't see him performing very well this year. I still see him being a pretty decent running back just because of his skill set.
I think he'll be
See him
fine.
excelling.
I think he'll be fine. I'm not saying I disagree totally. I'm saying that I think he will be fine, which is not CMC standard. CMC standard is amazing, but I think he'll be fine because that offense is not a run between the tackles offense. He's not going to get lit up by Mike linebackers all day.
Right. I mean, that was one
It'll
problem.
be outside zones.
It'll
It'll be screens. It'll be things that get him in space that more high speed collisions, but also collisions that he can avoid by going out of bounds. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, one thing that definitely helps is having other weapons around him to take the load off. I mean, when he was in Carolina, who the fuck else do you remember being on the Carolina Panthers?
Exactly.
He was their workhorse.
Right. Well, that being said, since we started out with the Cardinals going into the NFC South now, I think Tampa Bay is going to give the Cardinals a run for their money for the worst team in the league.
Who's the quarterback? It's Baker Mayfield, isn't it?
Baker Mayfield, the quarterback. Mike Evans has I think I saw a report that he's sitting out until Saturday. So I don't think he's been at training camp. I don't think he's been in preseason. I don't think he's been there.
I mean,
when you're building rapport with a new quarterback, being there kind of matters.
Right. I mean,
Godwin coming off ACL last year, and I think he got hurt again last year as well. Their tight ends are meh. Their offensive line is terrible. Their center's out for the year again. They're bad. They're bad, and their defense is old. Their defense is old as hell. And another thing with these front offices, Mike Evans has done nothing but be 1,000-yard receiver since he's entered the league, basically. And you won't give him his money. Pay the man. He deserves it. That's all I'll say.
Wait, literally, you know how I went through and just did a quick, one-liner for every team? You want to know what my one-liner for Tampa was?
What?
Baker Mayfield with a question mark.
Yeah, what are you doing? I get it. Maybe they're tanking for Caleb. Hopefully they are, because that's their only hope. For me in third, not much better, but a little better. Carolina. I have Carolina in third.
They've just been pretty middle of the road for a while now.
I think Bryce Young will do good. I think his height will restrict him a little bit. I think the addition of a veteran wide receiver and Adam Thielen will help him as a young quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's where Hayden Hurst is. He's in Carolina. I think Hayden Hurst being there will help. I think they have a good running game. Again, a lot of these teams, it's an offensive league, right? So you have to have a defense. But I can't name a single Carolina defensive starter.
They have a really good DB, don't they? Burns.
Brian Burns, yes. He's a little older, but he's good. He's good, but you double team him, then what? You know what I mean? He's not a TJ Watt. He's not a Myles Garrett. He's not a Michael Carson. He will not wreck your game. He will make plays, but he will not wreck your game. You have Carolina in third as well, I assume?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I have very little faith in the Saints. I'm putting the Saints at third.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that?
So they have a few playmakers. Obviously they still got Cam Jordan. They still got Michael Thomas. They still got Alvin Kamara. What the fuck is his name? The corner, Marshawn Lattimore.
Cameron Jordan?
I said Cam Jordan.
Oh, okay. Just make sure.
I said. They have a very solid team. I think losing Sean Payton is going to hurt them so much. And also, who the fuck is the Saints quarterback right now? Derek Carr?
Okay, that's a little disrespectful, my boy. That's a little.
I like Derek Carr. I think he was. I think he did good for Las Vegas. I honestly hate that he left Las Vegas.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the Saints will have a top 19 defense? top 19 defense. Do you think they will have
I
a
think
top
they'll be in the
19?
top 15.
Derek Carr has never had a top 19 defense ever. In one of those years, he went 13-3.
He's old. I just don't have.
He's not old.
I
He's the
don't
same
have
age as
faith.
Dak Prescott. He's 30 years old.
Old. Fucking old.
That's not Tom Brady just played till he's 45. What are you talking about? Are you an idiot?
I don't have faith in the team. I really just don't.
Okay,
I
well,
haven't seen enough that I like from them, and a lot of their playmakers are getting up there.
I
Michael
think you're
Thomas
insane.
hasn't been able to stay
I
healthy.
think you're insane because you haven't said a name. His name's Chris Olave. He was really good last year as a rookie. He's coming out of Ohio State. He's got a quarterback that can throw him the ball this year. Who was their quarterback last year? I don't even remember, and I'm a huge football fan. I don't even remember the Saints quarterback last year. I think it was Jameis Winston, but I think he got hurt.
I was gonna say it was Jameis Winston, and then Taysom Hill played a lot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I do have to say, for
What are we
some
doing?
reason, I fucking love Taysom Hill. And I
Well,
don't
Taysom Hill's just a football player. He just loves to play football.
They have him listed as a tight end now.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
It's fucking weird.
Great. Oh, so what you're saying is you don't think Derek Carr is that much better than Taysom Hill at quarterback?
I'm not saying that. I just think that their team is just getting older, and losing Sean Payton is a lot bigger of a deal than people's letting it seem it is.
Okay.
Sean Payton is an amazing coach.
We will just have to either revisit that or agree to disagree because
I
they
do
have
not
nothing.
see them being a bad team. I still see them having 10 wins this year.
You have them 10 wins and you have them in third?
I have faith in the Panthers.
How many wins do you think the Panthers are going to have?
Maybe 10, but I feel the Panthers are going to have more division wins.
You think the Panthers are going to win 10 games? How? In what way?
I think their defense is pretty solid.
Oh God, Charles.
Oh, hold on, we're gonna go through this real quick.
I just asked you to name there's a single starter. You came up with Brian Burns, and then your face made that face of I don't have a single other name.
Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson.
Okay, he's old
Dante
as hell.
Jackson.
He's old as hell. You don't even know who that
Von
is.
Bell, Xavier Woods, J.C. Horn.
Okay, JC's pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you that one. JC's good.
Their second string is Jeremy Chin.
Okay, Von Bell is also a good safety. But everybody else you named is old or mid, besides Brian Burns. They have three okay defensive players.
I'm faithful in their defense.
Okay, you're insane. You're on crack. And in week 4, we're gonna revisit this.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
We will be back.
About.
When you edit this, I want you to keep this section of the tape because in week 4, I'm gonna go play the tape, and then in the podcast, you're gonna roll this tape, and it's gonna be you talking about how the Panthers are gonna win 10 games.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. We'll visit again.
Yeah.
Who do you have at
So
first?
we have Atlanta winning. Both
Yes.
of them. Okay, yes. I think their running game's going to be fantastic with Cordero Patterson and Bijan Robinson. That's a 1-2 punch. Probably one of the better in the league. That's probably my first or second best core running backs Bijan in college. My dad's a huge Texas fan, so I saw a lot of him in college.
I remember the first clip I ever saw of him was when he got flipped over and landed on his fucking neck.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, I saw him play at West Virginia, because I went to school there. I saw him live. He was insane. That running back core is good. Their offensive line is good. They're just
they moved.
They're going to win a Bill Belichick style game, but they're going to score more.
Right.
They're going to run the clock. They're going to keep the ball. Their quarterback, Desmond Ridder, not real high on him. Don't think he's going to be great.
I think Taylor Heineke.
But I think all he's going to need to do is hit 3 or 4 big third down throws. That's it.
So I don't quote me on this, but I think Taylor Heineke is supposed to start.
You're right. I was wrong. You're right.
Which I think is great. Desmond Ridder has a lot of things that I like. Definitely good for him to be behind a veteran QB that has not struggled recently. I love Marcus Mariota. I loved him at Oregon.
I think Mariota's is in Baltimore now.
He's on the Eagles.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
the
wild.
Eagles are my pick for the best QB room in the league.
Mine's Kansas City. I mean, it doesn't matter about the backers.
So I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. Do they still have Chad Henne?
No, they have. I don't know who they have. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just.
It doesn't matter. The QB room is one guy. Patrick Mahomes. He can beat any of them.
I really do like the Falcons this year, though. You know,
I think they're going to surprise people. I don't think they'll win a playoff game. I think they'll host a playoff game because they're going to win the division, but I don't think they'll win one.
and I honestly, I see Taylor Heineke going there and doing better than he did with Washington. I'm a huge fan of Taylor Heineke. I absolutely loved him when he was with us. We didn't put enough faith in him as an organization.
I agree.
think the Falcons are going to do that because personally, I think moving to Taylor Heineke from Marcus Mariota
Is an
is a
upgrade.
step in the right direction.
Yep.
I think they have faith of him. I think he's going to do great. Do I think they'll make a playoff run? Probably not. They're lacking in some positions, but
Yep. They're a young team, though.
right. I'd like to see it. I'm from Georgia. If I wasn't a Commanders fan, I'd probably be a Falcons fan, which is unfortunate again. But it is what it is.
Okay. So we definitely have some disagreements there, but I'm interested to see your NFC North because this division feels like it could be anybody 1, anybody 2, anybody 3, anybody 4. This division feels like the most unpredictable to me.
I unpredictable, but possibly one of the better divisions in the league.
Possibly.
There's a lot of things that could go very right, and a lot of things that could go incredibly wrong.
Yep. Who's last? Who you got? Who's bottom feeding? Bears? Me too. I agree. This whole MVP Justin Fields talk, he's top 10 in the MVP odds right now. Where they got this from, I don't know.
Right. I had a little faith in Justin Fields, but then I remembered towards the end of the year last year, he came and he played Washington and Land Rover. We almost lost that game, but our injured ass defense ate him fucking alive in the cold.
I won't put that all on him. That offensive line
It's
is
terrible.
like the Leonardtown Raiders offensive line of when we played.
Right. I
It's
do
like
not see him having the time to really do much. I'm pretty sure his wide receiver 1 is Darnell Mooney.
it's not. They traded the number 1 pick because they were the worst team in the league. They got DJ Moore now. They do have DJ Moore. They do
I like
have
him
Darnell
better.
Mooney. They do have Khalil Herbert, but I mean, man, that talk about a rough break. That guy, he tore his ACL 2 years ago, and in preseason last year, he tore his Achilles. I mean, talk about just rough. Like, God,
He is just such a powerful runner. I love watching him. He's a great
He's so
flex
fast.
pickup
he's so fast.
for fantasy. But again, the injuries plague him, and
That
he's
defense
not
is
that
going
great
to
in
be
a
okay.
passing offense.
Yeah, the defense is going to be okay, but I don't know. I just have to see Justin Fields has to prove it to me as a thrower. That's the bottom line. So
That's definitely
we
fair.
agree there. Who's third for you, sir?
So I'm going to come out and say this. This is probably, these 3 teams are probably the hardest to rank right now because they're all just so iffy.
Okay.
I don't look at a single one of them and go, I definitely feel like they're going to be the best. But I think I am going to have to put the Lions at third. I have faith in what they're doing. I fucking love Dan Campbell. Love him. Is it Dan Campbell? I'm not thinking somebody else.
That's Dan Campbell.
I fucking love him as a coach. I think they're doing a lot of things great. They drafted great. Who was the rookie that they drafted the running back? Was it Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep.
Yeah. He's one of my picks for offensive rookie of the year.
They picked up David Montgomery.
Yeah, there's your third down runner. And Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be your guy you want to get out into space. They lost DeAndre Swift. Replace him with Gibbs.
I was talking with Jalen,
Mhm.
our friend Jalen. and they just replaced Swift and Williams with a younger version.
Agreed. And a cheaper version too.
Swift being Gibbs, who's your in space first, second down guy. Montgomery being your Williams, goal line, third down back.
They've got a mostly young team. I think the only thing that really cements the Lions at third for me is Jared Goff still being their quarterback.
I don't know if you just are blind, which could be the case.
Am I missing
didn't
something?
watch the Lions last year, but Jared Goff was surgical. That offense was fantastic last year.
I know. I just don't have the faith.
The question for me is defense. The question for me is defense. They were in shootouts last year, dude. That's why I think this Thursday, and we'll talk about this later, but that's why I think this Thursday, it's going to be a shootout, man. This is going to be like 42-38. Whoever can hold the other team to a field goal first is going to be the winner.
I mean, if you have that much faith in Jared Goff, I just don't know if it's there for me.
I have that much faith in Dan Campbell. I think Jared Goff, I mean, he's only been to the Super Bowl. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he is a top 12 quarterback in his league. Mm. And in the AFC, I think he's a top 4 quarterback. The AFC has all the quarterbacks. The AFC has all the quarterbacks. I'm going Jalen Hurts. I'm going Dak Prescott. I'll give Kirk the nod over Jared Goff because he's more consistent, and then I'll go Jared Goff. Speaking of Kirk, I have the Vikings in third.
That's fair. They're just so inconsistent.
They're so inconsistent. That defense has so many question marks. You don't have Adam Thielen anymore. You've got Jay
that
Jettis.
Wide receiver core is still fucking crazy.
You got Jay Jettis, who I think is fantastic. I mean, he's your number 1 pick in fantasy every draft ever this year. He's the best receiver in the league, probably. I mean, that catch against the Bills last year, did you see that? Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. But there's something to be said about one-score games in the NFL. One year they go your way, one year they don't. Last year, they were undefeated in one-score games.
When are you saying that?
That's not going to happen. That just doesn't happen 2 years in a row. I have them in third, but I do agree the Lions won't win the division. They'll be second.
So the Packers, they kept their solid team. They just moved away from Aaron Jones and are bringing in Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Any quarterback that sits behind Aaron Rodgers for that many years is going to come out and he's going to be good.
The Packers have it. They've seen it. What happened with Aaron Rodgers? Did he start right away? Who did he sit behind? Oh, yeah, Hall of Famer. Brett Favre for 3 years. Jordan Love. How long did he sit behind Aaron Rodgers?
4 years?
3 years. I mean, the Packers, hate them, love them, whatever. To say you
can't deny what they are.
First round or missed the Super Bowl opportunity by drafting this kid, from what I've seen in preseason, and from Aaron Rodgers doing his little darkness retreats and doing drugs or whatever he did, going into a cave for 3 days, 90% retired and coming out, no, I want to play. Like, you're crazy. But anyways, he has the rapport with these receivers. While Aaron Rodgers was doing all those stupid things, he was getting the first team reps and OTAs and all that last year. I'm telling you, he's going to have good rapport with these receivers. That Christian Watson kid, number 9, look out for him as a fantasy sleeper. Look out for him as an outbreak this year. They've got Aaron Jones. They've got A.J. Dillon in the backfield. Again, a strong backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got the Packers winning. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I think everybody is like, oh, man, Aaron Rodgers is gone. What are we going to do? And I could be wrong. They could be horrible, but I don't think they will be.
I think they're going to take the NFC North. And I'll say this. So the only people we disagreed with is the Lions and the Vikings. We flip-flop them.
Yeah.
If Jared Goff plays better than Kirk Cousins this year, the Lions will take second.
And for me, I have, just like the West, I have 2 teams coming out of the North.
I can see that.
which means I only have two teams coming out of the East, which I suppose we will dive into right now.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So obviously, me being a Commanders fan, him being a Cowboys fan. Surprisingly, we've never really gotten into it over the years. We've been able to keep our opinions objective.
Really, as long as we can remember, it hasn't been much to get into. But we don't have to trash talk right now.
That's fair. The only trash talk I'll ever say about the Cowboys is Trent Williams. My favorite picture of all time.
All right. Yeah,
is from that 49ers game. And that's not even talking shit. If it was literally to anybody in the league, it would be just such a funny video. It's hard to argue with. It's not even just talking shit. It's just funny.
Yeah. Go ahead. Who you got last, Mr. Commander?
This is going to depend on how Sam Howell plays. If Sam Howell can play above or can play average or above average, the Commanders will be third.
Okay.
I like a lot.
Who you having for? Direct answer. Not a if, not a who. Giants?
Giants.
Me too. I think they're last. I think they did a lot of good things last year. I think Saquon is not going to be happy with this 1 year. But, yeah.
I like Daniel Jones. Seen some good things from him. I'm just not confident in his ability to solidly lead a team. He just seems really iffy about things. I'm not even sure I know who their wide receiver one is.
He fixed his turnover problem last year, which was good.
He did. That was one of his main issues.
But I don't believe in him. I don't think he's as good. Some people
they have some guys here with some stuff to prove. I mean, if Saquon Barkley comes out and decides, I really need to put it on, I need to get a long contract, I could definitely see them beating the Commanders out. 100%. The talent's there. But I could also say that about the Commanders. We're a very mostly young team. I think if our guys can put it together, I legitimately see us making it into the playoffs on a wild card spot.
So safe to say you have the Commanders in third then?
Yeah.
Me too. I have them in third. I think Sam Howell will be better than the experts expect. I do not think he'll be good enough to get them in the playoffs yet. I don't. I do. He's a 5th round pick for a reason. I mean, your defensive line is good. Like I said, it's good.
And our secondary is really improved too, especially
secondary is improved. Your secondary is improved, but I'm not ready to call him a top 10 secondary yet. I have to see it.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Maybe top 15.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on the rookie we drafted, Forbes. He's actually.
Go ahead.
He's actually one of my lower picks for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's got the ability to do it, but it's also going to depend on how Jack Del Rio runs that defense.
I think a lot of it, too, is going to depend on their offensive line because it's not very good.
No, it is not.
Not good.
And in a long time.
I'll give it to you. You guys have a good receiving core. You guys have pretty decent running backs. Your offensive line is going to be what kills you.
Yes, because that's what it's always been. I mean, that's been the story since RG3. It's always been the offensive line has killed us every single year. That's why Kirk didn't want to be in Washington, but he left Washington to become the most hit quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
So seriously. Watching quarterbacks on Netflix.
Yeah.
Fucking rough. I feel bad for the man.
Yeah. That was a good ass show. I can't wait for season 2, actually.
I want to know who they're going to pick for their quarterbacks.
Yeah, me too. Number 2, I got Philly. I know I said I'm not one of those fans, but look, it's just the NFL is so variable. You don't have years like the Eagles had last year twice in a row. It doesn't happen. You don't go 15-2 2 years in a row. You don't. You just don't. They lost both their offensive defensive coordinator. Their secondary, I'm telling you, man, is not good. They've got one good corner in Slay. Their other corners average, and their safeties are horrible. I think they're starting a white guy at safety.
What the fuck is wrong with that?
I'm just saying it hasn't happened in the NFL for a while.
That's fair.
But anyways, their front seven. I mean, come on. I mean, their D line, like I said, with San Francisco. Flip a coin. Take your pick. I mean, their offensive line. Jason Kelsey's back, which is they got the best. They have the best offensive line in the league. It's not a question. Do we think Jalen Hurts is going to be as good as he was last year?
I think so.
I don't think he'll be as good. I think he'll be a little worse. He doesn't have the same voice in his ear.
I think he's going to be explosive. I think their offense in general is going to be explosive. So this is my pick for the NFC East. I have the Cowboys and the Eagles tying with 12 wins apiece. And I have the Cowboys winning one more division game again.
I have the Cowboys winning the East. I think as much as I really, really cannot stand our 80-year-old senile owner
Hey,
and his ways of just constantly starting stuff like this Trey Lance thing. I mean, I get it, he's unproven, but why? You know why? Because it's Dak contract extension talk. Anyways, enough.
That's something I want to mention about the Commanders again before we move on from it. There is so much hope for this organization right now. We just got out from under Dan Snyder's foot. We brought in a new owner that people are so excited for. You know, he manages other teams. He has done this stuff before. He's owned this organization for 2 months, and he's already putting $40 million into our stadium.
I think this is Ron Rivera's last year, good or bad. New ownership is their own coach. I think new ownership's like their own coach.
Yeah.
I
think they're going to make Eric Bieniemy the new head coach.
And I would think that's a great move.
I like Ron Rivera, don't get me wrong.
He's a mid coach, man. He's a mid coach. He's gonna win you 8 or 9 games. He might win one playoff game.
I think he's ready to retire.
I have the Cowboys because of the moves they made.
Cowboys are just such a solid team everywhere.
Like I said, as much as I don't like Jerry Jones, it's a well-run organization. It just is. I mean, Terrence Steele, they just signed him to a 5-year extension. Trayvon Diggs, they already got him taken care of. Zach Martin, they redid his deal.
The only thing I would like to see more on the Cowboys, tight end. Just a mid end to help support.
I think Cowboys have the best secondary in the league. I'll say it. Trayvon Diggs, you add Stephon Gilmore, former defensive player of the year, for a 5th-round pick. Adding Brandon Cooks, an explosive deep threat, for a 5th-round pick. Tony Pollard, I mean, come on.
I like Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard should have been getting
Deuce Vaughn, I'm telling you, watch out for Deuce. He's going to be the next Darren Sproles. I'm telling you, he's going to be the next Darren Sproles.
Did you see that Photoshop picture of him on the practice field?
Yes, I did.
I'm definitely putting that on there because it was so fucking funny.
So, I mean, yeah. Real quick, before we take our next break, I just want to go through our 7 playoff teams. In the AFC, I got the Jags as the 1 seed, Kansas City is the 2, Miami is the 3, Cincinnati is the 4 as division winners. And I have the Chargers as a wild card, Buffalo as a wild card, and Baltimore as a wild card.
I need to go through this again. Let's see. Let's see. My East team, Jets. West team, Chiefs. North, I'm going to go with the Bengals on that one. And South, Jags. My wild card teams are going to be the Ravens, the Chargers, and I'm going to say the Bills.
You're going to put them in there? Because earlier you said you weren't going to put them in there.
I'm starting to think about it more, and I'm losing more and more faith in the Patriots and the Dolphins.
Okay.
Honestly, I think I might want to take the Dolphins out last.
Okay. And in the NFC, I have San Francisco getting the first round bye, Cowboys winning the East, Green Bay in third winning the North, Atlanta in the fourth winning the South as your division winners, and I have Philly as the top wild card team, then Seattle, and then Detroit rounding it out.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys, and I'm gonna say you guys are gonna get the first round bye.
Okay.
I think you guys can do that this year. Obviously, NFC West is going to be the 49ers. NFC North, I'm going to give to the Packers too. NFC South, I'm going to give to the Falcons. My wild card teams are obviously going to be the Eagles. I like the Seahawks. I think they're I know they're in a division with the 49ers, but I think that division is really weak. I think they have a better chance of making it in there than like the Panthers or the Saints.
Okay.
And then I have to pick the Commanders.
Yeah.
I have to put them in there. I think they're going to take that last spot. I think they can do it.
So you got three teams out of the East.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be right back with awards and playoff predictions. So, welcome back. We're just going to kind of run through our regular season awards and then we'll go through our playoff bracket. And that will be the end of the first episode here at ChatterBox.
Oh, we still have to do our week one picks.
Oh, then we'll go through week one picks. This episode's obviously NFL heavy. I mean, it's Tuesday, man. I'm itching, dude. I'm itching for football, dude. I cannot wait for it to come back.
2 days,
This
and
one's
we'll be putting this episode out before Thursday's game.
yeah. So
Excited.
I know we said we're gonna get into more sports, and we promise we will. It's just this is just it's a big Tuesday for us. We're itching, man. We're itching. All right. So for me, my offensive rookie of the year prediction, it's kind of chalk. I'm going Bijan Robinson. Like I said, I've seen him live. Uh, he's special, man. He's special. He's gonna be fantastic. I think he's gonna get a majority of the touches out of the backfield. I think Cordero will probably end up maybe going back to receiver for a little bit. I think Bijan's gonna win offensive rookie of the year.
Okay. Not a bad pick at all. I I like seeing where he's come from. I like seeing what he's doing. Um, he just happened to not make it onto my list. I've got two people that I'm really interested in looking at. Uh, One's Jahmyr Gibbs. I
Mm-hmm.
love the offense that he's going into.
Yep.
I think he's a perfect fit for it. Coming out of Alabama. Some people say Alabama's QB wide receiver running back I'm excited for
Yeah.
him. Another guy I'm wanting to pay attention to is Addison. Minnesota drafted him. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver too, next to Justin Jefferson. Uh, Obviously, JJ, wherever he goes, he's probably getting double teamed.
Yep.
I think that's really going to open up the options for Addison getting a lot of throws, getting a lot of catches. He's built a lot like JJ. Doesn't exactly have the same height as him, but he's got that speed. He contests catch. I'm gonna be excited to watch him. And JJ being so good is really gonna open it up for him because everybody's gonna be focused on JJ.
Yeah. I mean, preseason rookie of the year picks are there's no wrong
They're
answer.
hard to go off of, but
Yeah.
this is definitely like that way too early segment on ESPN. But
Um,
it's fun.
for me, for defensive rookie of the year, I've got Jalen Carter for the Eagles. I mean, he's just huge, man. I mean, he's just a monster. He's gonna stuff the run. He's gonna get to the quarterback. I mean, we all saw what he did at Georgia. I mean, in the SEC championship game, picking up a quarterback and then throwing his fist in the air. I mean, come on, that's just unfair. I know these guys are NFL guys, but I think he's gonna be great. So that's my defensive rookie of the year.
So again, I have a couple different people. Witherspoon, DB. for the Seahawks.
Yep.
He's in a pretty lackluster division with the West. Yeah, obviously the 49ers are in there, but I'm really not hopeful for the Rams and Cardinals. I think he's a great addition to that defense. I really think he's going to prosper there. Um, we've seen what Pete Carroll can do with DBs.
Yep.
I mean, you just can't argue with that.
Yep.
If he drafted Witherspoon, there was a reason for it, a really, really big reason. And my second one is Campbell. I need to pull him up again. Shoot, the linebacker. Why? I'm like totally blanking. Jack Campbell, that's his name. That's another Lions pick I have on there. He's going into honestly a kind of mid defense, someone that's really been lacking at linebacker for a while.
Yeah, they need a field general out there. So
I've been watching him. Everybody's comparing him to Luke Kuechly. When you're a rookie and you're getting compared to someone like Luke Kuechly, you're doing something right.
yep.
And if he hadn't retired, Luke would be still be to me the best linebacker in the league.
I think he's still got a chance to be a Hall of Famer. But
I do too. I hate that he retired so early, but I
uh,
think that Campbell's getting compared to him. I think he's going to prosper in that Detroit defense.
speaking of the Lions, I think it's overdue. I think Dan Campbell is definitely a candidate. I have two, but Dan Campbell is definitely a candidate for Coach of the Year.
I've
I think if I'm wrong and they win the division, I think he will be Coach of the Year.
mm,
But I think he'll be a candidate if the Lions make the playoffs because that's just not something they do. So
that's fair. I've got three different people for my coach of the year. Um, first one is Mike Tomlin.
yep,
Rough year last year. I think he's really going to turn it around. And Mike Tomlin is just someone you can't argue with.
he's a great coach. He's a great coach.
That's just all there is to it. I think if he can really put it together with the Steelers, he'll be a top candidate for that. I have Robert Saleh in there. He's really stuck it out with the Jets. I think he's building something great there. If
It'd
they
be
win
hard to
the
do when
division,
they miss the playoffs, man.
when they win the division, I think he'll get Coach of the Year. But I just fucking love Dan Campbell as a person.
Yeah.
I love
Uh,
watching his interviews. He's definitely somebody I would love to see in there. He'll definitely be a candidate.
my other candidate is going to be Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. If they do as good as I think they will, and I don't know, coming from the Urban Meyer massacre, I'll call it, and turning that team around, and we'll just call it a year, basically. Um, if they get to the one seed at 13-4, he'll be Coach of the Year. I think that's an easy candidate.
I
I think it's almost a shoe in that they'll be that good because I said they're going to get 6 wins just in their division. So
I I like that pick. But I also think the Urban Meyer thing might kind of hurt him a little bit because Urban Meyer just left such a sour taste in people's mouth for Jacksonville in general.
yeah, but
I feel like he might get overlooked a little bit.
I don't think it's Jacksonville. I think Urban Meyer hurt his own legacy when he did what he did there.
Yeah, I mean, what's he doing? Where is he now? Did
He
he?
just works for Fox Sports for college kickoff. But
What a
comeback player of the year. My awards are Jags heavy, man. I'm all in on the Jags this year, dude. I comeback player of the year for me is Calvin Ridley. I mean, the dude, he's fast. He's he's got Trevor Lawrence throwing to him. He's going to be a key part of that offense. He's going to open it up. He's going to catch a lot of balls. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. I mean, yes, it
definitely.
was his own fault that he's gone. I don't even know if he's eligible for comeback player of the year because he was suspended for gambling, which it's like
I feel like that might kind of disqualify you.
that's
I feel
really
like it's more for
lenient for
somebody
him.
that comes back from an injury.
Well, too bad. I'd give it to Calvin Ridley.
Um,
I'm predicting that I'm going to.
so if Chase Young has a great season, like I really, really want him to, I think he's eligible for it. But I'm pretty much, I think DeMar Hamlin's going to get it. I think he's going to come back and he's going to have a really solid season. And somebody going through what he went through is you can't compare that to a torn ACL or
No,
getting suspended
being
because
revived on the
someone fell.
field for 9 minutes is you can't.
Right. If he comes back and has a solid season, he's locked down for comeback player of the year.
Um, yeah. Defensive player of the year for me, again, overdue, well deserved. Micah Parsons. I don't know what you want me to say about that. He's,
That's fair. That's a
I
solid
mean,
pick.
I mean,
Micah
he's
is.
gonna have 15 sacks. He's gonna be the reason our defense goes. That's all I got.
I think that's a fair pick. I'm going with Nick Bosa. Just getting that did he just get the contract or is he still
Still holding
trying to
out.
get his?
He's still holding out.
When he comes in and starts to play to get that big contract, he's either going to be trying to get that big contract from the 49ers or he's going to be trying to go somewhere else and get it.
Yep.
I think he's going to show the fuck out this year, especially on that loaded 49ers team. I think
Um,
he's going to do great. I mean, he's a great player
yeah,
regardless.
I
I
think
just
he's
really have
great.
a feeling he's going to show out this
I
year.
mean, I think missing training camp's gonna hurt him for the first couple weeks. And this award is a narrative award, and it is how you do at the end of the season. But I just think Mike is going to be solid all season, and he's going to have the
Yeah,
numbers.
I like that pick. I mean, this is coming from a Washington fan. I love watching Michael Parsons play. He
He's a
is
he's
dead
just he's a dog. He is one of those guys I was talking about earlier. He's a game wrecker. He will wreck your game.
right. And he's
Um,
it's his ability to just do everything. It's
Sticking
ridiculous.
with the Niners, you're not going to agree with this at all because you say you don't believe in him. But my offensive player of the year is going to be Christian McCaffrey.
That's fair.
I just think in that offense, he's going to get touches. He was only there for not even a full season last year, and look what he did. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to use him right. I think I think it's going to be CMC.
I'm just a little scared with him that being around so many offensive weapons, it's really going to diminish his role in the offense. And
I
I
could
feel like
maybe see
that's what
that,
could happen.
or it
Uh,
could open it up for him. Either way,
my offensive player of the year, um, after getting such a huge contract, really wanting to show his fan base that this team is what he's about. I think Lamar Jackson's gonna put it on this year.
the only problem I have with that is normally the MVP is a quarterback award. That's where we're at now, and your offensive player of the year is your best player offensively that isn't a quarterback. That's my only. I think Lamar's gonna be great. I, I think they're only gonna win 10 games, but I think that's just based on difficulty of schedule. So, but I think it's a good pick. Um, Now, what I think should be renamed to the quarterback award, moving to the MVP. Um, you've got your guys like Mahomes, Burrow. Hell, I mean, you can even throw in a different position, Tyreek Hill, Micah Parsons. Uh, but again, I'm all in on the Jags, man. I think they're going to be great. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be your MVP. If they go 13-4 and get the one seed in the AFC, he's going to be your MVP.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I
You know,
think he's going
kind
to be MVP.
I don't want to call it a hot take. I'm going to call it a warm take. I think it could happen. Are a lot of people going to pick that? I definitely don't think so. It's there. It's definitely there for him.
I think it's possible, and I think it. Again, I think it's.
Right. I mean, I want to come up with some kind of hot take, like I don't know, some bullshit like fucking Sam Howell's gonna get it.
For me, dark horse would be, I guess, if you want to do a dark horse. A dark horse for me because I think their ceiling is high. I just don't think they're ready yet. I think dark horse MVP could be Jared Goff. I think
Really?
if that offense shows out like it did last year, and they win 12 games instead of 9 games, and they're the 2 seed in the NFC. I think you give it to Jared Goff as my dark horse.
I'm gonna go kind of lazy with this one. I'm just gonna put Pack again. You know,
I mean, yeah. I mean, someone's got to dethrone him eventually, but I mean, I don't know who can right now.
it's hard to argue with the kind of player he is. My dark horse for that, I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, I can see that.
I think if the Jets really show up this year,
They live up to expectations. He could do it.
oh yeah, for sure. But that's the question: are they going to live up to expectations? Because everyone's either expecting them to do amazing, or everyone's just expecting them to absolutely shit the bed.
Yep. All right. I'm just gonna run through. I mean, we could do AFC. I go first, you go first, then NFC if you want to do that, and then we'll go through Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
All right. So for my AFC, the first round bye is gonna go to Jacksonville. The 2 versus 7 is gonna be Kansas City and Baltimore. Tough game, but I think that environment in Arrowhead Stadium is just, and it's Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He doesn't lose. He doesn't lose unless he has a backup offensive line in the Super Bowl. So give me Kansas City there. Miami and Buffalo, a divisional playoff game. I think Miami's going to take it. I think Miami will beat Buffalo. They were close last year with a third string quarterback and beating Buffalo at Buffalo. You give them a game at home with Tua, hopefully will be healthy. Give me Miami, and then Cincinnati and the Chargers. The Chargers' history is just choke, so I don't see how they win. I don't see how they beat Joe Burrow at home in a playoff game. In my divisional round, that leaves me with Kansas City, Miami. It's cold there, man. It ain't Miami. It's cold there, man. And again, it's Patrick Mahomes at home in the playoffs. He doesn't lose at home in the playoffs. Uh, Give me Kansas City and Jacksonville and Cincinnati. I think this is going to be the battle for the second best quarterback in the league at this point. And again, I told you I'm Jacksonville heavy. Give me
you
Jackson.
are you are on the Jacksonville
Give
train.
me. I am on the train. I'm honking the horn. I'm feeding the coal, man. I give me Jacksonville and Jacksonville, Kansas City for the first time in 5 years. It will not be an Arrowhead Stadium. However, that won't matter because Jacksonville is going to go to the Super Bowl.
You think it's Jacksonville? Okay, all right. Our brackets really could almost not be any more different. The only thing that matches on mine is the Chiefs going to the AFC Championship.
Let's hear it.
So my first round bye, I have the Chiefs. Um, I'm just letting you know I'm going to be Chiefs heavy.
I mean, yeah, they're the champs.
It's hard to argue with the kind of player that Patrick Mahomes is and the kind of
Yep.
coach, especially that I'm totally blanking on his name. I'm just thinking of his
Andy
goat
Reid.
every time he says Hut. You remember
And
that video?
oh, Andy Reid.
So my first round bye is going to the Chiefs. My 4-5 game, I have the Jags and the Ravens.
Okay.
My 3-6 game, I have the Jets and the Chargers. And then my 2-7 game, I have the Bengals. And I thought about it some more. I have the Dolphins coming in at 7.
Okay.
I really started to think about it, and I've got them coming in at 7.
And
Unfortunately, though, I have them lose in the first round of the Bengals.
that's fair. I can see it. They play the Bengals.
My Jets Chargers again, like you said, Chargers choke.
That's just what they do, man.
Yeah, I got the Jets beating the Chargers. Um, Jags Ravens. I don't have as much faith in the Jags as you do. I have the Ravens winning that. Second round, Chiefs Ravens. Again, I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't have enough faith in the Ravens to beat the Chiefs. I just don't. Uh, Jets Bengals. I like the Bengals. I like Joe Burr. I'm excited to watch him. I think he's going to be good for a long time, but I think the Jets have a bit of a super team. So I have the Jets beating the Bengals.
Hmm.
AFC Championship, I have Chiefs Jets. Chiefs.
Okay.
It's just that simple. Um,
Okay.
Chiefs AFC in the Super Bowl for me.
Moving along to the NFC. As I said, I have San Francisco getting the first round bye. Dallas and the 2 seed playing the 7 seed Detroit Lions. I have the 3 seed Green Bay Packers playing the 6 seed Seattle Seahawks, and the 4 seed Atlanta Falcons playing the 5 seed Eagles. Start with 4-5. I mean, it's the Eagles. They're just going to be better. They can stop the run, which is the one thing the Falcons are going to be able to do well. Give me the Eagles. 3-6, I think, is going to be the most interesting game of the weekend. I think Green Bay and Seattle goes to overtime, but give me Green Bay. They've been there before. Their quarterback maybe hasn't played in those games, but he's been there. He's been on the sideline. He knows what it takes. And then the Cowboys, Lions. Love Dan Campbell. Love that offense. But defense wins championships. So give me the Cowboys. Divisional round. Philly, San Fran. Give me San Fran. They get their get back on Philly from last year. Brock Purdy doesn't blow up his elbow. I think that's going to be a knockdown, drag out, just horrible, like painful game, not to watch but to play in. Give me San Francisco, Dallas, Green Bay. We get our get back from all of those years of Aaron Rodgers.
I
Sorry,
still remember that game in your basement.
sorry. Dak gets his revenge. Give me the Cowboys, and as much as it hurts, man, and it's gonna hurt when it happens, but give me the Niners over the Cowboys in to go to the Super Bowl. So my Super Bowl is the Niners and the Jags.
Our NFC bracket is actually pretty close. The only difference in the rankings is I have the Cowboys at the first bye,
Okay.
and I got the 49ers in the second seed. Other
Okay.
than that, everything matches up. Oh, except I have Washington at 7 instead of Detroit.
And you got them losing to
The
San
49ers.
Fran.
So yeah,
Yeah.
my Cowboys first round bye, 4-5 is Falcons and Philly, 3-6 Packers and Seahawks, 2-7 49ers and Washington.
Okay. And then
Washington's obviously not going to beat the 49ers.
in my Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan's not good at these, man. Kyle Shanahan can't do it. He can't win them. He was up 20-3 as offensive coordinator, wouldn't run the ball. He was up 20-10 as a head coach, wouldn't run the ball. I think he built the lead. And we've seen the heart from Trevor Lawrence last year, down 27-3 or nothing or whatever it was.
I remember
Super
that game.
Bowl, the Super Bowl is coming back to Jacksonville. Jaguars will be your champions this year.
You think so? All right. Well, so my 2-7 49ers, uh, Packers, Seahawks. But like you said, I don't think the Seahawks, they just don't have it. I'm taking the Packers. Falcons and Philly. I like Falcons. I just don't think they're going to beat Philly.
No.
Between the Philly and the Cowboys, I just got to go with the Cowboys. They're just the better overall team. Packers and 49ers, I got to go with the 49ers. That one I feel like is going to be a good game, but I mark my words. Christian McCaffrey, 65-yard touchdown, minute 15 left in the fourth for a 2 point
Okay.
on camera. So I got the 49ers beating the Packers, NFC Championship, Cowboys, 49ers. I think the Cowboys win that. I have the Chiefs and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and I got to be honest. This is coming from a Washington fan. I think the Cowboys are going to do it this year.
You think it's our year?
I
How
think.
dare you get my hopes up? You know I'm a crier. You know if we lose the Super Bowl, I'll cry.
I mean,
You
at
know
least
I
we
will
made it
weep
to the
like
Super.
a baby.
It was the Green Bay game
Yeah.
happened, wasn't it?
Yeah. When Mason Crosby's kick went, yeah. In an indoor stadium. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's what happened.
How we were like what 14 or
I
15 when
was
that happened? Maybe 16.
14. I was 14 when that happened. And we haven't been any closer since. And I turned 22 in 3 days.
Yeah. How many playoff games have you guys gone to since you've been alive?
Live?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know how many
Since
playoff
I can
games
remember.
we've been to since I've been alive?
Yeah,
Dude,
it sucks.
and we fucking lost both of them.
Yeah. Well, so that's our yearly predictions. We're just gonna go ahead finish out this episode with week one. If you could just read the matchups off. I know what Thursdays is. Travis Kelsey hyperextended his knee today in practice.
Did he really?
He did. Nothing too serious. He's not out for the season or anything. I think he's going to be very limited if he even plays on Thursday.
I think they're going to be safe and sit him.
Give me the Lions.
Uh,
Give me the Lions.
I still think I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs on that one.
It's going to be hard to go in there and win on banner night, but give me the Lions.
I'm going to write these down so we can go from next week.
All right.
So you went Lions,
Yep.
Chiefs. All right. Sunday games. First up, Bengals, Browns. I think we both know what we're going to pick on that one.
Even if Joe Burrow doesn't play because of his calf, give me the Bengals.
Agreed. Texans, Ravens.
Give me the Ravens and a wallop. I'm talking
Yeah.
38 to I'm talking 38-6. You can write that down if you want.
It's
Give me that. I mean, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be ugly.
going to be bad. Buccaneers, Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
Give me the Vikings. I think people will probably think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a 10-point game.
Panthers, Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. They're gonna run all over the Panthers.
Right. This game I'm going to be at. I'm going to try to take some videos to post up there. Cardinals, Commanders in Landover. In a first time in like 25 years sold out game.
Give me Commanders. I think it will be closer than you think without Terry McLaurin.
Oh, is he sitting out for his toe?
I think he's out. Not official yet, but I think he's out.
Right. They'll probably sit him just because the Cardinals are so fucking bad.
I think it'll be a one-score game.
All right. Then we got Jags, Colts. I'm going Jags.
Anthony Richardson first game. It's gonna be rough. Give me Jags. Anthony Richardson didn't impress me in the preseason. I think we'll get better as the year goes along. But give me the Jags.
49ers, Steelers. Take the 49ers.
Give me the Steelers.
Fair enough. Let's
I
see.
just think Nick Bosa not being there maybe is gonna hurt.
I could see that. I still think I need to go with the 49ers. I think without Nick Bosa there, it's going to turn into a shootout. But I
I
have
don't think it'll be a shootout. I just think it's gonna be an ugly game. It's gonna be a 23-20, 19-16 game.
Titans, Saints.
Oh, damn, that's a good one. Man, that's a game that'll be a game to watch.
Yeah. You know what? Give me the
Um,
Saints.
yeah, give me the Saints. Um, Give me the Saints. I just think their defense will hold up better than Tennessee's will.
Oh, here we go. We got the Toilet Bowl 425 Raiders, Broncos.
Oh, who cares? I mean, really, who cares?
I think I'll take the Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Broncos just because I got them finishing ahead of the Raiders. I guess that's the only reason. I have no football knowledge to give on that. Just give me the Broncos because that's what I've predicted.
Eagles, Patriots.
I think this is going to be closer than people think. I think it's going to be a Bill Belichick game that the Eagles win. I think it'll be a, you know, 2017, 1916 type game. It's week one. Jalen Hurts will struggle with the new coordinator. The defense will struggle with the safeties and things like that. But that front seven, that'll stop anything the Patriots want to do. So,
I think this is going to be my hot take for the day, for the week. Give me the Patriots.
okay. I mean, I could see it. I don't think that'll happen, but I could see it maybe.
Next up, we got the Rams at the Seahawks.
Seahawks by 15.
That's fair. Now, I'm excited for Geno Smith, man.
Yeah, me too.
I love
Listen to
seeing.
you represent, boy.
Hmm?
WVU represent.
Did Will Greer ever end up getting picked up by somebody?
I hope so, man. He put on. I mean, that circumstance they put him in, that was tough. Telling him they're going to cut him and then making him play the whole game, and he only misses, I think, 6 passes, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. That shows some heart. I hope he got picked up.
We'll check that before the end of the episode. All right. Next up, we got Dolphins Chargers
Damn, damn.
in LA.
That doesn't matter. The Chargers don't have fans.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Me too. Give me Miami.
Packers Bears. Damn, they're doing Packers Bears first game of the season.
Give me Packers.
Cowboys Giants division game week 1. Give me the boy.
Cowboys 27, Giants 17. You can write that down.
27-17.
Yep.
And then finally Bills Jets. Give me the Jets.
Give me the Bills. Tight one, but give me the Bills. Give me the Bills on a walk-off field goal.
Walk-off field goal. I can see that happening.
Yep.
I think that pretty much sums it up for our week 1 episode, doesn't it?
I believe so. Those are predictions, and we will be held to them.
Yeah.
We will definitely be shit talking. We will definitely be like, remember when you said this, remember when you said that. Um, again, we promise we will talk more sports than just the NFL, but both have playing football for 10 plus years. It's a big day for us. So
We're excited, especially being a Commanders fan, finally getting rid of Dan Snyder. FedEx Field being, yeah, I mean, it's gotten to the point where they're selling standing room only tickets.
Cowboys being good, Cowboys having a chance, actually having a chance, not like all these years, actually having a chance. It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be fun. I'm glad we're starting this. Keep tuning in. I'm sure there will be more.
Yeah,
I'm sure there will be more sports. There'll be more things. It's just very NFL heavy.
and Will Greer got signed by the Bengals.
Good.
Yeah, he's apparently
Joey B can't play. Put Will Greer in. He'll carry you to a win.
dude. He's got one hell of a beard.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Yep.
right. Well, this is episode 1. And we
Of
appreciate
ChatterBox.
everybody's time. And yeah, did we? I think we totally forgot to introduce the name at the beginning, didn't we?
No, we did.
We did. Okay. Yeah. So this is ChatterBox, and
Tune in next week. We'll post every Thursday. We record on Tuesdays, so that way we can make sure we get all of the NFL action in before we come back. And I think now that the predictions are over, we'll be able to talk about the game, surprises, not surprises, but we'll be able to get into more things like we wanted to get into Dion in prime time in Colorado. We'll probably get into that next week because I got him walloping Nebraska. That's Shadur Sanders, boy. He's bad. He's bad. He's a bad son of a gun. Travis Hunter playing 130 snaps. Are you kidding me? I could go on for another 20 minutes on these boys, man. We'll get into basketball. Hopefully, next time we record, the USA will have brought home the gold because losing to Lithuania was embarrassing. So just tune in. There will be a lot more.
get into some baseball too with the end of the season coming up, and the Orioles being good again.
Yep. So that's a little teaser for next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one.
Night, y'all.